Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, book signings, all that good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of our upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Max Wegner on the line, and he's VP of Seller Services over at Rocket Homes. Max, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Glad to be here.
Oh, man, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. We're going to give some updates on inventory and what's going on in the market. I know you said the last couple of days have been crazy. I want to get into all of that. But before we do, let's start with what you're doing over at Rocket Homes. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure. So Rocket Homes has been around for about 15 years or so, and actually we were a spin-off. Our parent company is Quicken Loans, and so my background personally has been in the mortgage industry for the last 16 years, and recently through an acquisition of For Sale by Owner, I have joined the team over here to really, the goal is, as you hear all the buzzwords of innovation and disruption, you know, the real estate market is one that has been around for a very long time, and there's a lot of emotion around that market specifically, and figuring out how do we deliver a better client experience to those homeowners that are out there looking to buy and sell homes. And so I've made the switch from the mortgage side of purchase transactions on the loan origination piece over to the real estate side and creating a self-service solution for those clients that feel that they can manage the process of selling a home on their own. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be on the team. And it's really been a new venture for me personally as well as professionally. So it's been fun.
Man, that's awesome. And I think that's also a great transition to getting into what's going on in the market. So tell us how your life's been the last couple of days.
Well, my life has really been impacted significantly through what I would say my family on the loan origination side with what's going on in the market. The coronavirus is still to be determined on the impact and how do we measure the fallout or really the recovery at this point in time on how are we going to recover and manage the current situation. But, you know, with what's happening with interest rates has been significant, as well as, you know, we're starting to feel that impact and that pressure really on the real estate market, which is interesting to see how we're going to come out of this. You know, in the Northern Hemisphere, we rotate a lot around the housing season, the spring, the summer, and right now is really the precipice on when we get a gauge of how significant the months of June, July, August will be, as a lot of homeowners with families really plan their timing, if that's an option, around buying and selling new homes in the summer months.
Let's talk a little bit more about what's going on with inventory. Give us a little bit more on that.
Well, as I mentioned before, right now is really where we get our leading KPIs on what inventory is going to do, because typically we see a surge around April, May, June, and then with the typical cycle right now, NAR will tell you that the average days on market is somewhere around 80, 83 days. But in what I would consider the major markets would be the suburban areas of downtown urban, where a majority of the income is created, it's really closer to 35, 40 days. So the quick turnaround makes it an exciting time. Real estate agents are fighting right now, if you will, and I think that's good for the market around different listings. And so that makes any homeowner that tries to accomplish a for sale by owner situation really a leading indicator of where the market is going right now. Because in a hot market, when I say a hot market, a seller's market, that means that there's a lot of people looking for homes, which makes it more attractable for homeowners to try and do it on their own. What we've learned in the industry, though, is that even though you have gone through a couple of purchase and or buy or sell transactions, the complexity around creating a good contract for both the buyer and seller really requires that person-to-person relatability and that education on what do contingencies mean? How does earnest money deposit play into your offer being accepted or rejected? What type of financing do you have, which is really my background, and how does that play into your offer getting accepted? And as a seller, how do you navigate, you know, if you list your home on the market and you get 20 or 30 offers, how do you navigate which is really the best offer for you and their family? Because there's a lot of complexities that go into that. And I think there's a significant opportunity to serve homeowners better in that space.
Let's talk a little bit about touch on what's going on with mortgages and mortgage rates. Let's go in that direction.
Well, if you haven't looked at refinancing, I strongly suggest you to do so. Even if you refinanced as recent as 2016, or really, I feel like a broken record at this point in time. Rates have been the lowest they've ever been in history, and that continues to be a factual statement, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It is so true.
We've never seen the 10-year Treasury. It's hitting its lowest markets in history, and I've been doing mortgages specifically since 2004, and obviously making out of 2007, 2008. We've been in a refi boom type economy, whether it be the qualitative easing that we saw in 2008, 2009, which was government, had a significant impact on that, or just natural market conditions have created amazing opportunities for you to finance your home at the lowest levels in history, which as a buyer, that means your affordability or your monthly mortgage payment now allows you to buy a larger home than you've ever had the opportunity to do in the past. So if you're listening to this and you're a homeowner, reach out to your either local friend or family member that's in the industry. If not, give us a ring and we'll hook you up with somebody. But really, it's a good time to look at your entire financial picture and see how does the mortgage play into it, because it's a great time.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. Like some of these 30 years out there and just looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, like in all reality, like when you have that, it's kind of, I mean, it's never happened before. And it's interesting because I started my career. So my very first job out of college was with Quicken Loans, or it was Rock Financial. And then, obviously they had the Quicken Loan brand. That was my first job out of college. And I still have buddies that still, stayed in the mortgage industry the entire time. So that'd be 2006. And they're right now, they're just like, man, we are so busy. Like this is crazy what's happening in these rates. And it's honestly really unbelievable. And especially for those families out there that are going to, some people know that they're going to be in their home for a while. So, and they're thinking, is it worth the time? Is it worth things are so easy now. When I started, we still had to use some paper. I remember driving out and having to go use paper and like going to somebody's house. And now it's just so easy to refinance or to do a mortgage. You have these DocuSigns or all these other like technologies that make it like, why wouldn't somebody want to like better their position if it made sense, if the numbers made sense, of course, depending on their specific situation. So it throws me off. I'm like, man, it's so easy now, and they're giving it to you. I love it. So Max,
it's absolutely unreal.
So Max, what excites you in 2020? So what excites you in 2020 over at Rocket Homes?
Well, I think if you would ask me that question a week or two ago, it may have been different. But I think the strategy and or the plan remains the same. What excites me is when you think about what I would consider the corporate revolution that is taking place right now, and that is the reality that a lot of pre-existing legacy companies are realizing that the shift and the impact of the digital economy is having on legacy institutions. And you see it, you see signs everywhere. You see Citibank trying to reinvent the bank with their commercials around, the coffee shops or whatever it may be. You see and all of this really was started with Amazon and the ability to buy now, and eBay and different functions like that. And that's really transforming itself to the larger transactions in people's lives. And these large organizations really need to get on board with, it is not about managing a P&L. It's not about saving money. It's about investing in the client experience. And at our company, we lead through our culture, which is ISMs, and the money and numbers will follow. They will not lead. And what that means in a scalable, I look at our business, we acquired For Sale by Owner, which is a 20-year-old plus organization. And really we're applying the culture to this framework that says, if you take care of clients and you provide the best client experience, then everything else will take care of itself. And the disruption that's happening in different industries, it doesn't matter if it's real estate or mortgages or retail, if you cater to what the client needs are and you're really in touch with what consumers need and want, then your business will flourish. If you manage through trying to cut costs and trying to, like I said, focus on profit, over time that won't win. If you focus on serving the client and providing the best client experience, your organization will flourish. And that's no different if you run a grocery store, a retail chain, or if you run, the largest originator in mortgages in the country. If you have that focus, you're going to do fine. And sure, it will be tough. It doesn't make it easier, but it definitely makes it for a better business model.
Man, that's awesome. So, Max, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about Rocket Homes or what you're up to, what's the best way for them to reach out and get info?
Well, like anything these days, just go to the Google machine. And, the best place to start, we've found that clients are most interested right now about what is the value of their home. And the big elephant in the market, is Zillow that's out there. And I don't personally, that leads the business, don't look at Zillow as a competitor. What I look at is the competitive advantage is how do we serve the client. So you just go to Google, type in for sale by owner. There's a lot of competitive websites out there. The good news is that from a traffic or a client service standpoint, we get about 7 times the amount of traffic of any potential competitor that's out there. If you're interested in listing your home, we've got lots of tools that tell you what the value of it is. But we have services like, so for example, if you don't want to use a real estate agent, we offer what's called a broker price opinion or a professional price opinion on your home. It's not equivalent to a lending appraisal, but we'll run a competitive appraisal on your home and tell you what homes are actually selling and closing for, which is the data that you need as a homeowner to be empowered to make a good decision on how do you price your home, which is one of the most important things that you can do to list your home. Our process takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to create a listing and publish it on forsaleby.owner.com. And then we have additional services that help you, becoming the successful home seller that you want to accomplish. And, that's the easiest place to start. And if things are complicated, we have an agent, or we have 25,000 pre-screened certified agents in our network. So if and when the time comes that you need a professional opinion to walk you through the complexities of the contract, the complexities of selling your home, then we have certified agents in our network over all 50 states, a scalable platform that we can connect you to make sure that you're in good hands.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Max, it's been great catching up with you and learning more about what you're up to, and thank you for the market update. I think I got a lot of value out of it. I'm sure our listeners will also. Speaking of listeners, thank you for tuning in. Without you, there's no show. Keep listening, and don't forget, if you liked what you heard, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video section. Want to hear what you're up to and what you think about the market and what kind of projects you're working on. And Max, thanks again for coming on the show.